Alright guys, I'm going to start this part, what are we on, 5 or 6? I forgot. No, we're on 5. Going to start this part 5 video off with a little sneak peek of the 3D printing situation, starting on the control panel. That is the right control panel where the shifter goes. It's a big square thing. The shifter I showed you in the last video just slots right in. Actually screw it to the back. I put that inside the two wood panel boxes, and then I screw it to the wood. So pretty stable so far, as in a sneak peek. But that's where we're going to start things off. The left side panel has the Stream Deck and the VR view buttons, 4 of them, like any Sega racing cabinet has, and then a radio button. Oh, and also I left a hole in there for a USB port, easy access, you know. Anyway, today's video is all about artwork and T-molding on the seat box. So as you can see, I'm starting that off. Anytime you mess with pre-laminated wood where you've got a nice finish, I went over it there, I don't know if you saw that, with a Sharpie to basically make sure all my imperfections were covered. If the artwork didn't cover it, the Sharpie got it, so you know it looks black. You know, trim as you go, cut, get that stuff on there. I am the kind of guy who likes to cut all the way to the edge and not roll it over. I know there's two schools of thought on that, but that's how I do it. And just want to show you this artwork real quick before I get started on the T-molding. And as I'm going to do one side of the T-molding, and then the other side, I'm going to talk the whole way through it. So if you ever wanted to know how to do T-molding, or at least how I do it, tips, tricks, pointers, what have you, these are some, you know, not overly complex bends, but it's pretty creative. Inside-outside loop, 90 degree, we got a radius in there, you know, that kind of thing. I'm going to go through, slow it down, do non-time-lapse footage, and talk about what exactly I'm doing as I'm doing it. So if that's not your cup of tea, that's basically what this video is about. Because after this, I'll put the artwork on the first cabinet, and then the second video will be about moving on to the second cabinet, but I'm going to move at a much faster pace because we've already seen all this. So we're going to start covering the nitty-gritty, what's inside, the computers, the wiring, the LEDs, you know, the fun stuff. So stay tuned for that, and I'm going to get into the construction side of things a little bit more in depth. But this video is primarily about artwork and T-molding, so get buckled up. Alright dudes, we're going to do some T-molding, and if you don't like feet pics, I'm sorry, enjoy my feet. Or don't care. That's how we're going to throw down. I already did the other side, so maybe you saw that time lapse or maybe you didn't, but we're going to do this part. I like to do the hard stuff first. Oh, I got a little extra, but I got cuts in it. I don't know if you guys can see that. So that'll fold over nice and give us a nice rounded corner, or inside-outside corner. And I'm going to show you what I do to do these first couple super tight bends, and then inside out and up and over. The first thing we do is we start on the bottom in case we do something stupid or ugly. Nobody sees it. So I'm going to start on that, and I'm going to try to film as much as possible, not in time lapse so you guys can get some detail, but you know how it is. It's just me holding the camera, so I'll try to do my best. Alright, first thing, make sure you got enough to work with. Second thing is they never cut it good for you. What is that angle? Look, I mean, come on. So this stuff is really easy to work with. This is tmolding.com's whatever cheapo 3/4 inch black. If it's thicker stuff, like if you're working with an LED T-molding or that leatherette or that, you know, just thicker stuff, I like to use this because it gives me a straight cut, and I forgot what you call this thing, but oops, didn't bite enough, did it, or did it? It gives a straight cut when it works. There we go. Only this time it didn't because I'm on camera, so I'm gonna trim this up with the scissors because this stuff is super soft. So you can use the scissors to make a straight line. There you go. Now you can see that. Maybe straight enough for the bottom. So that's where we're going to start. And just got to find the slot. And if you need to, use a percussive instrument. I'm just going to put this on its side and give it a little whack. Doesn't matter where you start as long as it's on the bottom, somewhere towards the middle. And just keep giving her all the way to the corner. And this stuff likes to bend and turn and twist. Try to keep it as straight as possible. See now, into that corner. Can you guys see it? Yeah, it's in frame. See how that's starting to bend up? So we got to leave that out. And you've got to cut in there. I like to use side cutters. And when you're doing a 90-degree bend, you want to take out V's of material. So like make a W looking thing, and I'll show you what the heck I'm talking about in a second. So you take out little pizza-sized wedges of the T-molding. You guys can still see this. Good. Hard to do this, keep it in frame, and talk about it all at the same time. There we go. So hopefully you can see that there's a little pizza slice missing. And that should get us around the bend. Now, if you didn't do it in the exact right spot like I did in there, you just add another one towards the spot you need by making it look like there we go. Nice. Okay, inside out corner. So this one gets a little tricky. What you need to do is bend this over really, really tight I don't think, yeah, you guys can see it. See, in the spine of the T-molding is laying flat again. So what you need to do is on these inside out bends is you need to basically fan it out. So you kind of start before the bend and make straight up and down cuts as much as possible. And not too far apart too. This is going to have to bend really sharp on this one. And since we don't know exactly where the tight corner is going to be, yep, see I need a little bit more down on this end. Just keep making them. There we go. And then I'll fix that artwork after I get this done. And see, kind of push it down into the corner. And I like to use the handle of the mallet just to get in there. And see, it's still not enough, so you kind of have to push it down like that. And I might need to make more cuts. We'll see if this tightens up though. Oh, it worked. And just fix this with my fingernail. And Bob's your uncle. There. Nice finished edge. You see that? Yeah, we can see that.
Everybody on? Good.
Great.
Great.
Wonderful.
Grand. Wonderful.
No yelling on the box.
No yelling on the box.
Now this, my blade got dull and I kind of chewed up the edge here. If this looks bad after the T-molding goes down, that's what Mr. Sharpie is for. Don't be afraid of Mr. Sharpie. Because if you just eliminate the white edge, like if this stays around for some reason after I get my fingernail in there, all you got to do is eliminate the white edge. No one will ever see or notice it if you get rid of the white edge. Trust me. So now, same thing. V's or W's, depending on how skilled you are. And we'll go around the corner. There we go. How close did I get that one? And then move the seat back. So we have room. Again, I'm pulling up to make it tight. We might need, oh, maybe not. Oh, one more. It's fighting me. You can just kind of tell how it's laying down. There we go. Again, pull up. See, much better. Anytime you get a weird bend in there, and see how the artwork is kind of poking out on the edge? I got too close to it. Like I said, we'll go back with the Sharpie and clean any of this stuff up. Right now, if I use my fingernail, I can get pretty close to it. Is it showing up? Yeah, you can kind of, this is what I'm talking about right here. My blade lost its sharp edge and kind of chewed it up a little bit. So like I said, we'll touch that up with the Sharpie. But the rest of this is working out pretty good. Seat forward again. Don't be afraid to use the handle if you can't get in there. Or just squish it with your hands. And then also, this is just kind of custom to me. See how I've got this black finger width whoopsie up here? There is another piece of art that goes over top of this if you want to pull up the official Cruis'n or Exotica art. They had this like extra plastic piece that I'm simulating with a piece of vinyl. So that'll go on top of there. The guys at Game On Graphics though didn't ship it to me separately. It was a piece that's stuck to within the graphics of the cabinet art. So I gotta cut that out separate. That's why I don't have it. And I can kind of just put it wherever it looks good. So I can cover up any nasty right here. It'll be nice. All right, second to last corner. More V's and W's. And we'll do one more. Can't stress enough how important it is to pull on it, get it tight. It really makes for nice corners. And then I got this big mess of T-molding. I'm gonna estimate the rest of it. We're gonna need about yay much just to make it easier to work with. Use the scissors. We don't have to play twist and shout with the big piece. You can just lay that down there. Yeah, making a huge mess. All these little pizza wedges of black T-molding. All right, and then one more set of cuts. Where's that fall? Oh yeah, way off. Instead of a W, I think I need to make a WV on this one. I cut it way too past the curve. And I think I'm going to clean this thing up. See, we doubled up by about 2 inches. And we got a nice curve. And we're just gonna have to use our senses to cut that. So the edge is right there with my fingernail. Can you guys still see this? Yeah. So what I like to do is make a temporary incision with the scissors. Pull it back and cut it as straight as you can possibly manage. Messed up the artwork. Leave it a little long. Nope, that must have been something else. There we go. Boom. Done. You got T-mold. Apologies. The camera was not as secure as I thought it was. And there we go. Oh, we need to put T-molding in there. Look how ugly that looks. But the rest of this, oh yeah. No problem. Yeah, buddy. All right, hope you enjoyed that quick lesson in T-molding. We're moving on, though. We're going to the license plate decal, which, unfortunately, reproduction artwork is a little narrower than the construction I did, but trust me, it turns out nice. At least it does in my opinion. And we're going to put in that tail light. So I'm thinking tail light on top, license plate on bottom. To kind of, mimic a car. Tail lights are usually a little higher than the license plate. I still got to mount the floor in there, but it's nice and tight thanks to my careful, precision measurement. But also, I took the front plate off of that thing. It did some very temporary wiring, and look at that glow. Oh my God, these are, okay, backing it up a step. These things are real taillights meant for a trailer. Like if you build your own trailers kind of thing. And I don't know if I show it in these clips, I did eventually end up taking off that wireframe mesh. So I think it looks sweet. You guys let me know in the comment section below. But also, we're moving right along. There's the Cruis'n artwork for the first cabinet. Like, we're putting on the primary artwork. I can't believe how good that artwork came out. And this is Game On Graphics. Link in the description. They hooked me up. This is reproduction artwork. This is meant to go on like a real Cruis'n cabinet machine. So that's, you can kind of tell how pretty damn close my measurements were for putting these things together. Like for copying down random Google SketchUp, drawings and then printing them out on 28 pages of paper and PDF and yada yada. Well, you saw. If you go watch the first video. If you didn't see that, that's how we got the plans. I basically tried my best to assimilate a real Cruis'n cabinet and then stretch it wider, like 2.5 inches, I think, to fit a modern 32-inch widescreen gaming LCD, because I don't play CRT reindeer games yet. Focused on the yet. That FPGA Mr. projects caught my eye. We'll just leave that right there. But anyway, look at that. The diamond plate with that artwork just came out choice. I told them to give me a bunch of extra bleed. I don't know if they did or not, but worked out well. I ended up only taking you saw an inch or two of actual graphics off the top and bottom of that thing. So that with the seat box and the artwork, it turned out pretty sweet in my opinion. The one thing I wanted to talk about, but I don't think I got any good footage of it, is how I attached the steering wheel to this thing. There's actually a racing simulator adapter from a company called Ricmotech. I'll link them in the description, but it's basically a flat plate that adapts to that thing. Oh, this is the shifter panel that was 3D printing while I was doing the artwork, so we did a test fit. This is just a mock-up. See, that I got the measurements all wrong. It's proud of the top of the wood, and it's flush on the bottom, and it's missing, an inch and a half on the left-hand side. So that was just a test print. I don't know why I got that so off, and oh my gosh, the 3D printing drama. I've got so much this is just one thing that I wanted to show you guys. It was non-stop 3D printer drama, this whole yeah. Wow, if you were trying to fuck up, I think I won. It's got truck nuts. Life lessons with Arcade Adam. If you can't laugh at yourself, you're wound too tight. But anyway, I just thought look at that. The heat sock came off. Those of you that know 3D printing know how disastrous this is. It's just, I went through 2 or 3 hot ends, 2 or 3 nozzles, whatever. You don't need to hear the whole story. But I was fighting a war on more than one front. And we all know how well that worked out for those that have done that before. Anyway, let's T-mold this thing. So I did a time lapse of the T-molding. I don't want to bore you guys to death. Everybody's probably seen how T-molding's done, but same thing we did on the seat box. I did my seam on the bottom, and I think it came out pretty nice. We got, just standard black T-molding both sides, and so I don't have the pedals in there yet. I just noticed. I'm just starting to. I literally threw my old Racing Sim PC in there, whole hogging it just to test it. And look at that! Look how that came out. It's not attached yet, but we're getting there. We're getting close. I got a new prototype shifter panel, still not exactly what I want because it's in front of the T-molding and obviously not attached yet. So my final product actually slots inside in between the wood. And here you go, guys. This is what you've been waiting for. This is the LED. It's not LED T-molding. This is the LED product that I found that I really wanted to try on this build. So as you saw, I put regular T-molding on, and then I put this stuff on top. This is just a test fit. That's why it doesn't, the corners are rough and whatever. It's literally held on just with that blue painter's tape. But I wanted to check out the vibe because this stuff from a front perspective has just got a tiny little stripe. But on the side, it's super bright and super diffused. You cannot see a single LED at all. And that's the point. I hate seeing LED bulbs. Anyways, this is just a quick, I did a sound reactive mode on the chip I'm using. I'll have that in the link in the description, but if you didn't follow the Megacade RGB madness, it's the same board, WLED, ESP32, you know the drill if you know RGB. Now we're talking inside of the computer. I got one of those cheapo $20, $30, Chinesium open frame racks. Just needed something cheap to hold the video card and motherboard place. I screwed it to the monitor mount, so now it's really not going anywhere. And then check this out. I was going to use some fans I had laying around, but I'm like, no. I need to go all the way and put RGB fans in this thing. So I hooked it up to the motherboard header. There's a subwoofer. There's the power supply cables. I got, there's a back panel that I cut out. You guys saw that if you saw video number 1 or number 2. But yeah, it's coming together. There's the pedals mounted on the back box. I vertical mounted them. The cool thing is for the T150, that steering wheel, there's a little slider switch that just flips it if you vertical mount your pedals. So not a lot of drama in the software. It's a physical switch. And then now you get a sense of what things are looking like. So we haven't touched cabinet 2 yet. That's coming up. But this is where I'm going to leave you guys. So in part 6, We're going to breeze through cabinet 2 and the artwork and the T-molding and all that stuff, and then start talking about the really cool stuff, the wiring, some more T-mold, some more LEDs, some more RGB, all that good stuff, and maybe some output stuff. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate you hanging with me. I know I took a little long to get these videos out, but yeah, if you got questions, throw them in the comments below. Do the YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, and look for part 6 coming up soon. See ya.